Cardinals just finished off a series sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates, have now won 5 straight games, are back to 500, are with striking distance of first place in the National League Central. Whoa, are we about to buy into the hype train of the Cardinals, or are we about to temper expectations a little bit on this episode of Dealing the Cards? Hey, welcome back to Dealing the Cards. My name is Josh, joined by Andrew and Sandy as always. Again, we're always bringing St. Louis Cardinals podcast coverage here on the Dealing the Cards channel. We've got Birds on the Farm, which a new episode just dropped yesterday, so go check that out. And we'll do a little bit of a prospect showcase ourselves for Andrew knows what that's coming on here in a minute. But obviously today we want to reflect on the fact that the Cardinals just swept the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was really a great series all around, right? The offense looked good, starting pitching looked good, bullpen looked good. The defense has been exceptional for the whole season now. There's obviously things that we can nitpick, certain players on the roster right now that I know we can go there with. There's other guys you can be really excited about. The club's back to 500, so nothing crazy. But at the same time, you look at this team the last 2 years and where they were at in the early May. Both times it was doomsday, DEFCON. What is it, DEFCON 1 the worst or DEFCON 4? I think it's 1.
Five.
Right?
I think it's 5.
Or
right?
5. I couldn't remember if it's the higher number or lower number.
We would just say DEFCON 5. It sounds
Whichever is the worst one. That's what it was, right? Because you had the right before Ollie, like we thought Ollie might be getting fired after the Milwaukee series last year. 2 years ago was like when they hit like a historically low beginning of the season record. And we were like, are the Cardinals actually bad? Like, what is happening here? And they're 500 right now. Is that crazy good? Like, are we like trying to throw a party right now? Yes. No, but Sandy might. But this is a very different spot than they've been in the last 2 years. Obviously, the NL Central is pretty weak as well, so it gives you hope on that side. But for all the optimism you could talk about record-wise, or Victor Scott or Matthew Liberatore, all those things, you could also point to, well, I mean, is the pitching really that good? That's ranked 19th in baseball in starter ERA, 19th in bullpen ERA. Is the offense like good enough to carry them? Because it's about like 9th in baseball in OPS. I think they're about 9th in runs scored. They're really high in average and on base, but not as great in slug. I think they're at a spot right now where you could kind of do glass half full, glass half empty with them, which I think this time last year is pretty much impossible to look at the positives with them. So, I mean, let's just hand it over to Glazer himself, Sandy. Are you buying in? Like, are you drinking the Kool-Aid 1,000% right now?
I'm super happy about where we're at right now, of course, right? I can't say I'm not having a lot of fun watching them play right now. It really did feel like about a week ago or a little more than that, they got to a point where they were at a turning point within the season, right? Because you get swept by the Mets, you go to Atlanta, you have a chance to win that series, and you give it all up in one of those games. Another implosion from the bullpen. It just didn't feel great. Now you're coming home. You got the Brewers who, I mean, let's be real. They've had the Cardinals number over the past couple of years. It's really sucked to play the Brewers. We've talked about how they've ascended past the Cardinals as a franchise. And you've got that series where it really feels like if this goes off the rails here, like it could be over. You could have come out of that series eight games under 500 with, a road series in Cincinnati, and they were hot, looming. But the Cardinals win that series. They go to Cincinnati. They split on the road, including winning both ends of a doubleheader, which we haven't seen them do very often at all, before they come back home, take 2 or 3 from the Mets, and then sweep the Pirates, right? 2 doubleheader sweeps in the last week as well. Like, I mean, it just feels like there was 1 of 2 ways you could go. The wheels could have fallen off, or you could have scratched and clawed your way back to 500, and look where they are now. So I think I'm really excited. Also, like, there's some huge developments here. Like, I think Matthew Liberatore being like a legit starter is some of the best developmental news the Cardinals have gotten in years. And I'm happy to say that. Like, that's a huge break for them. And I think being able to pencil him into your rotation in the future is absolutely massive. And it really does look like he has arrived. He's finally here. We can stop hearing people complain about the Arozarena trade for once. Like, it's nice.
People will, though.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't have to listen to it anymore. There's just a lot of positive energy around the team right now. And coming into today's game, I just felt great. I was like, hey, they're going to go out there. Sonny Gray's on the mound. He's going to go out there and shove. The offense is going to get behind him, and they're going to make something work. We beat Skeens again. He's 0-4 against the Cardinals as of yesterday. So, like, I mean, what else could they be doing? How much more fun could we be having right now? So that's where I'm at. I'm happy to glaze this team. They've earned it.
Well, okay, so before Andrew, because I want you to answer that, and I'll answer. Like, so I don't think any of us would argue they're a lot of fun right now, but are you buying into them as like a team that should be reckoned with? And by that we mean like a team that could win like make the wild card series,
Yeah,
right? That
it's just
something like that. Is that something you're like ready to be like, oh, they're a contender for that right now, or it's like let's see some more
if they
before
were
we
in the
go there?
American League, it'd be a completely different story. The
True.
National League is so strong right now. Like the problem is you only get 3 wild card spots, and the Cubs are young and plucky, and we'll see how the Cubs hold up over the course of the season. I mean, obviously, I hope they fall off a cliff and they crash and burn and play terribly all year, but that's unlikely. They look like they're pretty strong, although they're scuffling right now. It's nice to see the Cardinals only 3 games back.
Yeah.
But assuming they can't win the Central, you're right. The wild card race is going to be really tough this year. You've got 3 teams coming out of the West that are all capable of making a wild card spot, and a 4th that's going to win the division. Whether the Dodgers or Padres or maybe the Giants win it, whatever the case, 3 teams there. You've got the Mets seem to be running away with the East, but the Phillies and the Braves are also forces to be reckoned with. And even within your own division, you can't finish below second if you're going to make the wild card. And the Brewers and Reds are going to be threats all season to that. And the Cubs, assuming, or if they somehow don't win. So there's just a lot of really good teams between you and a playoff spot right now. And that's just the state of the standings. But I think the Cardinals in a random year are definitely good enough to compete for a playoff spot. Like this team, this could win 85, 87 games. We'll have to see where they are. It depends how some of these things shake out. If some of these teams get worse, maybe if the Cardinals are in it and make a move at the deadline, that could change things as well. Andrew's always excited about some potential splash. So I'll say they're going to contend. I just don't know. It's a really tough scene right now.
All right, Andrew, where are you at?
Yeah, I mean it's fun to watch. I think the takeaway from this series is just that the Pirates are not very good. Right? Like,
True.
Paul Skeens is like what 0-4 against the Cardinals, but I think he still has a sub-3 ERA against.
He had a 6.57 going into that game against us. He's been bad against us. Mm-hmm.
Wait, are you sure? Because he had one bad start, but one of the games that they won against him was like a 2-1 win. I think the other one was
that was the last one. I thought it was over 6 coming into that game, or maybe it was over 6 coming into the game earlier this year.
It might be on the year over 6. I think.
Well, yeah,
that's really good start
one last year.
I don't think he's been great against us though.
He has a 2.76 ERA against the Cardinals in his career. So like, it's not that he's just bad against the Cardinals. It's just that his offense doesn't support him, which I think is the narrative that Pirates fans want to push, and probably the narrative that's correct. Because that's still very, very good, and like I don't know what to think about the 0-4 thing. I think it's just an anomaly where the Pirates just don't score against the Cardinals instead of Paul Skeens being bad. And then the first game, the Cardinals really piled on against the bullpen, the Pirates bullpen, which has just been really weak. And then today again, the Pirates just didn't score. So I'm not sure how much I would take away from this series, other than the Pirates are just really bad, and they're off to their worst start I think since 2016 or something like that. I don't know. I think they were even good during some of those seasons. But I know it's been a while since the Pirates have started off 12-26, which is just terrible. It's like the start the Cardinals had in 2023, right? And yeah, sweeping a team is nice, but you swept a team that was objectively one of the worst in the league right now, and that's good. But I think more to take away from is the doubleheader sweep against the Mets. That was really encouraging for me.
2 one-run wins too.
Yeah, for sure. So I fail to see why I should buy into this team just yet. Like, they got back up to 500. They're still 3 games out of the division. The Cubs have lost a lot. The Steele is on the IL. He's out the entire year. Imanaga, unfortunately, won't be able to regress towards his metrics. His xERA and stuff, which is like 4.5. And he has a sub-3 right now. But
crazy levels of hate.
Hey, his xERA is like full 2 runs higher than his actual ERA right now, which is crazy. And
some Dakota Hudson type stuff outperforming.
So, either way, that's a big loss for them. I think their number 1 starter is like Matthew Boyd, which is not ever
Jameson
a good
Taillon?
Okay, well, yeah, Sure.
I'm just tongue in cheek.
So their rotation isn't very good right now, but their lineup is still one of the best in baseball. Pete Crow Armstrong,
really
for
bad.
whatever reason, is just their bullpen is also
It's
terrible.
Worse than the
three
Cardinals
runs.
now.
Their bullpen is worse than the Cardinals, which is pretty funny. But I think there's a path to winning the division. I don't want Mo to see, oh look, the Cardinals have won 5 in a row. Let's do all this nonsense and kind of try to compete again this year. I don't want to see Jordan Walker get sent down. And
I don't think sending Jordan Walker down is the best way to compete anyway, though. I feel like the competing and finding out what you have at this point, those goals align pretty well, in my opinion. Like I don't think they would change that much if they're competitive, except for maybe.
I feel like if this team a year or two ago would 100% have sent Jordan Walker down. They literally did it, and Jordan Walker's been terrible so far, and he's on probably a colder stretch than we've ever seen him on in a while. And Nolan Gorman similarly. I still want to see those guys get run, see those guys get playing time. So I don't want to see them do anything like that. And I think I said it last year. I mean, this team feels more real than last year's team when they were at 500.
Yeah,
but they're just at such a crossroads right now where they can sell at the deadline and it would make sense, and they could buy the deadline and it would make sense. Like if the deadline were right now, like it would make sense if they keep playing like this. I fail to buy into this team just yet, just because we haven't seen that much. But I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing. I think aside from Walker and Gorman, everyone is showing me exactly what I want to see, right? Like Wynn has looked a lot better since coming off the IL. Scott has looked really, really good. Maybe even all-star potential for center field. One of the best hitting center fielders in the National League so far. Lars Nootbaar has been a little bit cold the last week or so, but has started to find something this week, and obviously not the problem with the offense. Brendan Donovan's still elite, and Ivan Herrera's coming back, which that probably makes the lineup a lot better. Alec Burleson's starting to find his swing. So, I mean, aside from Walker and Gorman right now, which are the two guys you really wanted to see the most out of this season, this team looks really complete from the position player standpoint, and from the pitching side too, to some extent. Like Sonny Gray's solid. Liberatore looks for real. I don't know how long that will last, but with every start, it seems more and more like he's going to be a fixture in this rotation for the next couple of years. And the real question marks in this rotation are the guys that aren't going to be here next year, right? Like Miles Michaelis and Eric Fetty have been your two worst starters. I think Palante's almost there. I think his ERA is like 3 points higher than or lower than both of them, but McGreevy could easily take their place next year. There's other pitching in the pipeline that makes a lot of sense. Gordon Graceffo might be a high leverage reliever after what we saw yesterday. That looked really good. So I mean, there's a lot to be excited about. I just don't know if I would buy into this team.
What's funny to me is they complain about they don't have pitching depth, and then they make Gordon Graceffo a reliever, starting pitching depth, and it's like, okay, I don't understand how that makes sense, but okay.
How far down the depth chart was Gordon Graceffo?
Well, at this point, he's probably second. Well, I'm just saying, like, if they're really concerned about the starting pitching depth, like they've got Michael McGreevy, and apparently Steven Matz is now going to be mostly a reliever too. So I'm like, I'm not saying either of these things are bad things because it makes your bullpen better to have Graceffo and Matz in there. Yeah. But again, if they're complaining about starting pitching depth, it's kind of funny that they've like, okay, so now our 6th and our 8th guy up are going to be relievers, and Michael McGreevy is our depth. And beyond that, it's like maybe I guess Drew Rom's making some rehab starts right now, so it's like
not Drew Rom.
Okay, well, I mean, as 7th on the depth chart right now, it's not. I mean, it's not ideal, but that's where we're at. It's just an observation. I'm not complaining because I do think Graceffo is one of the key parts of this, where it's like, hey, if he carves out a significant bullpen role here, Steven Matz takes on a little bit more of a high leverage role. Then you go from you've trusted only 3 relievers into your bullpen to potentially 5, and that's a huge development for them if they're going to start winning these games, right? the bullpen has been a lot better since Ryan Fernandez got sent down. Bernie just tweeted this out. They have a 2.66 ERA with 4 wins, 4 saves, and only 1 blown save since Fernandez got sent down. So I again, small sample size, but again, we've seen like, okay, when this bullpen isn't imploding left and right, this team wins games.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to
Roycroft back too.
Yeah, Roycroft's pitching better, and it's like you need guys that you can bridge the 5th and 6th innings with too, because the game can be lost there, but it clearly has been lost in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings lately too, or before as for the recent stretch of games. I think if I'm like judging where I'm at with this team right now, again, I was an 80 and 82 guy going into the year. At pretty quickly on the season, you guys know I bought into the offense. The defense at this point has been one of the best in all of baseball. So you can bank, and that again, even if they don't finish as number 1 and outs above average by a country mile, they're going to stick as a good defense at that point. So I think you can trust this offense to be a top 5 to 12 unit. You can trust this defense to be really good. I think you can trust that as well. Here's where it starts to get iffy. As long as the rotation doesn't have a bunch of injuries happen, it can do enough for you. And when you have a Gray on the mound, a Liberatore on the mound, those guys can pitch up. Michael as of late, giving us flowers, has been better.
Libby looks like he could start a playoff game for you right now.
Yeah, and it's like right now I'm not banking on it, but he's
Yeah.
pitching like it right now. So it's like you've got those ingredients, and the bullpen's better. Then it's like I just named every unit, and I like every unit. And if I like every unit, that can be a playoff team. I'm just not ready to fully go there yet because again, we're coming off what are they 9-2 in their last 11 games or 7-2 in the last 9 games. A hot stretch from them, and that took them to get back to 500. And remember last year they had that long stretch where they're the best team in all baseball, and we were like, and again I'm making fun of myself. We were like, how can everyone say they're not a good team? They're one of the best. I'm mocking myself right now. They were one of the best record in all baseball since Mother's Day, and then they fell apart. So like I'm not going to take a 9-game
Do you know what
stretch.
happened on Mother's Day last year? And do you know what happened on April 21st?
It's true. Ollie got ejected, and
Do it more often,
so do it more often, Ollie.
Well, just wait till we're in a rut and then do it.
It's because Ollie's my favorite and he's the best, and no one can convince me.
He knows how to push the buttons. But so I do, and I again to your guys' point, I think this is I'm more confidence in this team than I did last year's team. And last year's team I thought could make a push, and they didn't miss the playoffs by much. I think the thing I'm at this point, maybe I changed my mind as we see a longer stretch from them, and they continue to impress, and they're gaining a lead in the standings. It's like, okay, this team's legit. It's here to stay. As of right now, I would like if the deadline was today, I want them to sell. I just do. And it's because I think I like Jeff Jones' piece from last week. And I'm not saying he's right. I think they could buy. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm done trying to predict what they're going to do this far out because they're so unpredictable. It feels like they always.
I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to do absolutely nothing.
They could.
They have not done nothing at any trade deadline in a while.
In a while, but in a very similar
They've also
year to
not
this.
done nothing in any offseason literally ever. So.
But was it 2017 or 2018? They did literally nothing at the deadline.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think that could be something they do. But I think
better than those teams.
At this point, you would, in my mind, you have to shop Ryan Helsley because it's like you can just get too much. I mean, again, assuming he's valuable at the deadline, people want him. I would much rather trade Ryan Helsley, even if they only trade Ryan Helsley, that at least makes sense to me because it's like, hey, if you make the playoffs still, woohoo, that's awesome. But I don't think the closer was going to be the main reason you made it there.
100%.
You might as well capitalize on it. And like an Eric Fetty type, especially if they have a little bit health at the deadline, then it's like maybe make that flip. Jake's in our chat right now who just texted me earlier, and I'm like, I think I wouldn't mind. And even though this wasn't the Tigers' plan, and it wouldn't be the same, but like I would much rather them go the Tigers route where they offload of Jack Flaherty to the deadline and get assets back, and then they somehow made a magical push to the postseason, rather than hold on to all those pieces to try and make it or make a push. That's just my opinion.
Well, so you want them to trade Eric Fetty and then re-sign him in the offseason?
Look, trading.
Wait, not that
part. To make you a worse team is all. Like that's what I think. I honestly think that for the Cardinals right now, there's two problems. Problem number one is that the assets that they could actually trade are worth significantly less than they were worth a few months ago. I mean, seriously, who's available to trade right now? Steven Matz's value.
I mean, Ryan Helsley today would still get you something. He's not.
Yeah, he would still net you something. But if you could have pulled something off in the offseason, I feel like you would have gotten more. You still get someone who's desperate at the deadline, but like.
I think you're overstating a little bit how much it's gone down. Like
but Fetty's value is in the toilet right now.
Oh, and fair.
I mean that's the other issue, right? So like even if you do sell at the deadline, you're trading like two guys away. And aside from Helsley, like what are you getting?
Yeah.
Fetty's not getting you much of anything right now. Like something, maybe.
But I mean, at the same time, again, what we're talking about as something before was like an organization's 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th ranked prospects. Let's not make people think we're thinking they're going to get top 100.
No, but
prospect or
an
anything for 'em,
organization's
but
5th ranked prospect is a player that you expect to make the major leagues someday.
well, you hope. I don't think you can expect anyone to, but
You
that's
hope.
fair.
Sure. I mean, but like Michael McGreevy right now is rated as the Cardinals' 7th best prospect according to MLB Pipeline.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to get like a 1-for-1 copy to that, but you're expecting to get somebody that you can actually say there's value here.
Yeah.
Right now with Fetty, I wouldn't think they would get anything of value. Like
But
outside
again,
an organization's top 10.
yeah. But
Maybe
we'll
a
see.
rookie prospect.
It's May 5th, 6th, right?
Yeah, there's plenty of
Or
time.
7th. Like we've got, so plenty of time to build that up.
There's plenty of time.
And again, like I would rather go into a deadline where I offload my closer and I figure it out who's going to close games for me at this point than be like, oh, I need that spot on my roster. Or Eric Fetty, it's like, even if he's not a great starter for you right now, and even if he's a mid-4s guy for you by the deadline, it's like, well, again, we just talked through with the Cardinals pitching depth options. And so it's like, I do think Eric Fetty is a significant upgrade over if Drew Rom had to be in there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
it's like, so there is a drop off that could happen. So, anyways, I think we're going to have that big picture conversation all the time and we can revisit it in a second, but I do want to talk about some of the exciting players in the series. And like one of them was Victor Scott. And again, we've talked about in last episode, we keep talking about him. I did snag the other day a little auto Victor Scott Peoria Chiefs card, which I like that one. And before we continue with our episode, I want to thank one of our sponsors of our podcast, and it's 314 Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're located at 9640 All Boulevard in Olivet. They're open 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and 10 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. They buy, sell, and trade all sports cards and Pokemon cards. They have the newest selections of packs, boxes, and single cards of local players and stars from around the league. They've got the new Bowman sets out right now, the top prospects in there. And so, almost called you JJ. Andrew has a pretty sweet chrome JJ card that he's gotten from 314. He's going to rip one of those new packs on stream. I wonder what chat would think. So Andrew, you traded a Jesus Made card for JJ. So I personally think value wise it's a L, but like heart wise we love our JJ. But
well,
James
I like
Wood,
the card that's on the back more than any of the other cards.
Is it an Ohtani? We'll see. Okay. Ben Rice, what a star. Oh, that looks fun. Is that Alec Thomas? And then I don't know who Kellen Lindsay is. Matt Wilkinson.
All these people are. I have no idea.
Bo Walker. Walker Jenkins.
That's cool.
Okay. Garcia. Carlos Correa. Beautiful. Mookie. Oh, and of course, Andrew pulls a Shohei. That's for him. So make sure you go check out 314 Sports Cards and Collectibles. Many of you already shop there already. Let them know we sent you when you're there. And again, DM us on Twitter or tag us when you pull some things or buy some cards. Let us know what you got. Hey, Victor Scott, I think if Bernie posted another Bernie shout out here, he posted something on Twitter where he didn't put a poll out, but he talked about like how good Vic's been lately. I can pull up the numbers a little bit here, but he's been on fire. He's batting like 400 over the last 9 games or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, or that last 9 games, batting 400, 4 walks, a home run, double, 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored, 2 steals. On the season, he's up to a 771 OPS. I think he's a 118 WRC plus guy now. He's scored or driven in 33 runs on the year. He's playing Gold Glove like defense. He's so fun to watch. And so I'm curious for you guys, is he your favorite Cardinals position player right now?
Favorite, like
to at least to watch. Like if you're like turning on a game, which Cardinal position player are you like, I want to watch this guy tonight?
If he's on base, then probably, but
even I get excited to watch Mason Wood play shortstop, but it's a lot of fun to watch Vic play, especially in the outfield.
I mean, I feel like a lot of them are on the same tier. Like I get excited to see Donovan.
Yeah.
And Newbar.
Right now, I think
those guys are
I think I'm most excited to see Contreras coming to the plate right now.
That's true. I think Contreras finally not being terrible.
He's got a 104 OPS plus on the year. He's now officially above league average offensively.
Beautiful. With how bad he started, that's a huge jump. I would say, I think I agree with you guys that it's like there's multiple guys in that same tier for me, but Vic is it's hard not to say him at this point because in the field, on the base paths, at the plate, every phase of the game, he can make something happen. It's so fun to watch. But like Donnie's incredible to watch. And we said that plenty of times before he was on the podcast. So it's not just glazing there.
Also, Vic
but
was
like
the other night, right?
That's what I think. But
yeah, criminal.
So,
What happened?
it's one of the play at the plate.
Did you see that?
Oh,
that was
yeah.
one of the worst.
So
how
dumb.
do you like get to look at that in slow motion and be like, oh yeah, he's still out? That's terrible.
One of the
Because
worst.
MLB wanted to make an O'Neal Cruz tweet.
They did. Oh my gosh, he hoses him. Look how hard he threw it. It's like he didn't get him. Doesn't matter. It's a terrible tag.
Yeah. Anyways,
I think try him right now though.
Libby is fun. Okay, tell me why.
Sandy's favorite player to watch is John King, but he hasn't
I
played.
love watching John King. I do think it's Libby for me right now, just because I was so excited for his start yesterday, and then it just delivered in every way. So I enjoyed that a lot. I'm already excited for the next Libby bump day, and I will be glazing him between now and then. So
I think pretty quickly we might be saying Ivan Herrera again here when he's rejoining
Yeah.
the lineup, because that dude's so awesome.
what? So there's the rumor. Well, not a rumor. He's got some soreness. They said it could delay him coming back by a day or two. When do you think we have Herrera back in the lineup?
I think he plays tomorrow, right? And then they reevaluate. So he might be on the road.
Yeah. I mean, it was a few days ago they said that too. So
Yeah, exactly.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know what they're gonna do, but Luke and Baker is one more option left. I wouldn't be surprised if they optioned Baker, kept 3 catchers on the roster for a little bit, and allowed Ivan to get slow back into catching duties and DH more often. The tricky part about doing that right now, though, is you've got a hop out from Alec Burleson, and unless they decide to throw him out in right field and not play Walker for a day, you got a little bit of a crunch there.
Right now,
So,
that'd be fine. You're trying to win some games.
I want to have that convo real quick. So Ivan Herrera comes back. What do you do?
I think Pai should get sent down right now.
Well,
I mean,
I agree, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Pozo's been hot, dude.
Just why not? Why not run Pozo for a little bit? Why not?
He's in 38 at bats. He's 24% above league average offensively. It feels like he's doing everything they've asked. And I mean, I know Pajes has been like, he started the year hot, but I think if I'm remembering correctly, like he's been cold lately. He's down to 79 OPS plus, which is actually below his career norms now. He's below what he was last year. Like, it's not great. I know he's managed to throw out a few runners, which is nice. It's always good seeing him hose someone down at second base, but it's not happening all the time. And
well, he got O'Neal Cruz yesterday. I think the league just has a thing for O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I don't know what's going on.
For a quick comparison, Pozo's is obviously super small sample size, but Pajes is like a below average blocking guy right now, below average framer. He's well above average and caught stealing above average and pop time right now. He's one caught stealing above average, and it's 86th percentile. If you go to Pozo, he's a league average framer, slightly below league average blocker. So technically he's better than Pajes in both of those right now, but then he just lags behind him with caught stealing. So I just don't think it's like it's a gap. Pajes is better defensively, but you've got a guy who's got at 39 plate appearances, but 807 OPS right now compared to a 640.
Well, and the peripherals are really good. His expecting batting average is 357, which is actually 40 points higher than his batting average. His expected WOBA is 363, which would put him in like the 75th percentile. Obviously, again, small sample size, but it feels like he's doing a lot of stuff right. He's barreling it up. His sweet spot rate is among the highest in the game so far. Again, small sample size, but that's what you want to see. He's squaring up just about everything. He's in like the 95th percentile there. He's struck out 2.6% of the time. Like, that's unbelievable. He's not striking out at all. So when he goes up there, you at least know he's going to put something in play. I think it's a no-brainer in my opinion to keep Pozo on the roster, just because like you can use this guy as a pinch hitter. He's versatile in ways that Pajes is not right now for you. If something happens, like, you're not afraid. If Pozo had a DH for me for one day because of some weird thing that happened, I wouldn't be freaking out. It'd be like, whatever. You can put him in there right now. He's been hot. And if Pozo sucks for the next 50 at bats, you send him back down, you bring Pajes back up. It's not the end of the world. You're not worried about like wasting Pozo or Pajes' options long-term, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it's that big a deal. No. So that's what I do.
I mean, some people disagree. I know there's people who are really high on Pedro Pajes, but Pajes to me feels like a guy, once you start having to pay an arbitration, he's going to end up being a guy you probably non-tender, like Andrew Kisner. Like, I don't think he's all that valuable. He's a fine backup catcher. I'm fine with that. And maybe he'll end up being a starting caliber catcher. I don't know. I just don't see it. On my opinion, in my opinion, if Herrera's ready to catch, I would send Pages down, keep Pozo on the bench for now. And like you said, it's like in a couple of weeks you could bring Pages back up because Pozo's magic's gone, and it's like, okay, that was bad.
You ride the hot hand though when you're trying to win games, especially this early.
Are you trying to win games?
Yes.
Well, I don't think you're trying to lose games.
Well, yeah,
but like Pages isn't. Okay, is Pages
not
part of your future?
Core. Yeah, no,
but
Jimmy Brooks is. Pages is not.
I don't know. I feel like I don't like seeing Pages start, but Pages like has at least a different skill set. Where Pozo is just kind of a worse version of Herrera in every way. And I said this last time.
Was that bad?
Yeah, why is that bad?
Because like if you're not gonna ever substitute Herrera out for Pozo in late innings because Pozo's defense isn't really that much better.
Yeah, but like most teams don't sub their catcher out late innings. Let's just like the Cardinals were doing that to get an advantage. And I'd rather have the competitive advantage of when Ivan Herrera's not starting, Pozo's at the plate, than the ability to have Pages play games and then sub in late for games for Herrera. Because there's even.
But also, they should just send down Luken Baker because Herrera's not good. Shouldn't be catching for a while. I feel like.
Yeah, if that's what it is, then Luken Baker should be the one to go down. But if it's not, I'm fine keeping Baker on the roster for a little bit longer because he hasn't been. His roles against left-handed pitching has it been what you need it to be? No, but it's not so bad that you need to send him down. But maybe he'd benefit from a couple of weeks of being able to play every single day, get into a rhythm, and then come back. So I see that side of it too. Versus left so far in the year, Baker has a 848 OPS, so he's doing his job against lefties for you. He can't hit righties a lick, but that's not what you're calling him for.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Luken Baker's kind of does he like if you non-tender or if you DFA Luken Baker, does someone pick him up?
Yeah, I think so.
But you don't need to DFA him. You can.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, if he wasn't on the roster, would someone pick him up? Because like I feel like there's so many like right-handed kind of players that do that.
Someone's
also Luken Baker. I feel like a lot of his hits. Like he hasn't homered yet this year, which is kind of his calling card. And like the double he hit today was like broken bat, like right down the line. Like that's not what he's there to do, right? I don't know.
Maybe, but I mean, also when you're looking at this club right now, he out of their guys who've played more than 5 games, Herrera, he has the best OPS against lefties on the team right now, and he has 27 at bats. And the guys he's comparing to that have a lot of at bats are like 5 more at bats than he does. So like. He's been your most productive hitter against lefties right now. I think you keep him on the roster. Unless, I mean, if someone tries to trade for him, I'm not like, oh, you can't have Luken Baker. But like, I think we've been overstating Luken Baker's like inaptitude.
I mean, Baker, someone's going to bet on the track record too. Like Baker's an older guy, but like someone would pick him up. He's got 130 homers over the last 4 seasons in the minor leagues. Like the power potential is clearly there, and someone would give him a shot if the Cardinals were to cut him, I think. There's no way you'd let a guy who's homered over 30 times in each of the last 2 years and produced a cumulative OPS of like 950 just like sit there. You know, someone's going to give him a shot.
Yeah. True. Well, looking forward, they've got the Nationals this week, which that's a a series. I'm not gonna call it a tough series, but then they really do start to have a stretch of games here where this month of May, because someone just said in the chat earlier, like you look at the Cubs and like they had to put up a pretty good record against a really tough schedule in the first month of the year. Their May looks pretty weak. You look at the Cardinals May, and it's not gonna be treating them all that well. You've got the Nationals this coming week or this week, and then you've got the Phillies this weekend at the Phillies. I know you've got the Diamondbacks this month. I'm trying to pull up their schedule, and it's like being wonky for me.
It's the Royals, Diamondbacks, or Royals, Tigers, Diamondbacks, Orioles, Rangers.
Which all those teams are contenders.
Well, the Orioles have been really bad. I want to see some of these guys like try to take on the Orioles pitching because it's
been really bad.
It's bad, but I mean, still, when you think of this year, Baltimore's still a team I personally don't want to face. Like, I think any series can be the series they turn it around. And maybe they're the team that every year there's one team we thought was going to be a contender that falls apart. Maybe it's the Orioles this year.
That'd be a shame.
But you're playing. It's the Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson revenge game. If they're healthy by then, who knows? I mean, the Diamondbacks have been good this year. The Tigers have been really good this year. I don't think the Royals don't have a winning record. I don't think. But maybe
the Royals have been hot. They're the reason that the team is that the Cardinals.
Oh, they do. You're right.
Since whatever.
You're right. They're 21-16. For some reason, I thought they were right around 500.
They also have a super cool prospect in Double-A that should be called up soon. Please.
Oh boy. maybe he's maybe he debuts against the Cardinals. We'll see.
Look at the A's and Royals in wild card position of the AL right now. How about that?
It's like last year, the American League Central is just like popping off.
It's because they get to play like 15 games against the White Sox. That's why the NL West is so good, because they get to play against the Rockies.
The Rockies are generationally horrible. It's unbelievable. I've never seen. They're 6-28. They're on pace to be much worse than the White Sox were. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Gibson given up 3 home runs in a row to the Yankees, and then Paul Goldschmidt got out, and then they hit another one after that.
Well, I don't know if we can slander Goldie this year.
Oh,
He's been pretty darn good, but we love Goldie, right? We're not Goldie haters.
But that's on brand.
So
a little bit.
Anyways, I mean, any other big takeaways from the weekend at all, or big picture thoughts on the team right now?
Not really. I just want to see more. You know, I'm having a lot of fun watching them, and I really do think that in a different year or like a different NL, if the playoff picture wasn't as crowded as it is, it'd be much easier to buy into the Cardinals. You know, and I think like that's why in a vacuum I'm still happy to buy into them, because the only reason I'm not I like you said, Josh, I like all of the units on this team. The defense, best in the league. I don't know if anyone saw that tweet, but it was pretty crazy. Someone said the Cardinals were like 8 outs above average ahead of anybody else as of a few days ago. It feels like everybody's popping off. And, you know, we've talked about Walker's defense, but by talking about his like middling defense and the argument surrounding it, we haven't been able to talk about guys like Mason Wynn, Wilson Contreras adjusting so well. Really like Arenado bouncing back defensively. How about Barrero making some slick plays the other day, right? Like Donovan, Nootbaar, these guys have all been somewhere between above average and significantly above average. Victor Scott in center field, like there's so much to like about that unit. The bullpen, like you said, has improved so much. The rotation looks fun. And I'm really excited to see what it looks like when McGreevy gets into it. But right now, you can look at 2026 and be like, I'm really confident that 3 like pre-arb or arb players will be in my rotation. That rocks. That's awesome. Like you can really feel good about Palante, McGreevy, and Liberatore being able to hold down a rotation spot. Save the Cards a lot of money. Maybe they can go do something smart with that money, you know? Lot to like. So I think in another year, again, it'd be a lot easier to buy in. But in a vacuum, I'll buy in. And that's why I'm happy to buy in now and say, I think at least they're going to be really fun to watch. I think they're going to push for a playoff spot. Whether they get there or not, I'm not sure. It's more of a function of how all these other teams hold up and how they play over the next few months. But I think the Cardinals are going to be right there in August again. And hopefully they just don't fumble it this August.
Like they're going to get swept in Washington, aren't they?
Potentially.
I feel like every time you buy in, it just goes off the rails. I don't know. I want to buy into this team. I want this team to be fun, but I feel like Jeff Jones might actually, like, he might be really onto something, and they might just sell even if they're like in first place.
I hope he is, because at that point, Bloom should have.
If they're in first place,
it's fine. Your team's not going to change that much if you sell. Like, I don't think it would kill them. I don't think they'd be that much worse.
Hey, let's finish this conversation on the other side of. I want to thank one more of our sponsors, Underdog Sports. The Deal in the Cards podcast is proud to be partnered with Underdog Sports, our favorite place to play fantasy games. You're now eligible to play in Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, and 37 other U.S. states. You got to check out Pick'em. It's so easy to play. You just pick 2 to 8 stats of your favorite players and choose whether they'll go higher or lower. You can win 20 times your money by going 5 for 5. If that sounds like fun, sign up with our promo code CARDS to claim your first free pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We can't wait to see your entries. Again, use that promo code CARDS. You can download Underdog Sports in a link in our bio. Again, if you use our promo code CARDS, you get a first free pick'em and a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So
I think they should let you do higher or lower 0.5 transactions made by Mo at the trade deadline. But
that's fair. Here's the thing. The casual. So here's I want to zoom out a little bit here, because I think some people are gonna be like, from a PR perspective, it's gonna look horrible if the Cardinals trade away guys at the deadline and they're in first place, and it's like, is that gonna tick off fans more? Potentially, maybe. But again, like the hardcore fan, I think most people who are really locked in right now would be like, trade Ryan Helsley. I think, at least I think the majority of them would. I think the majority casual fan that just does not pay attention, it just goes to games or whatever, just doesn't really even know what they're doing. And so I'm like, I don't know if that's going to turn them off all that much. Maybe it's like that middle fan that's like kind of pays attention to the headlines and all that kind of stuff that gets ticked off by it. But again, I just think they're at a spot right now as an organization where they have to, they got to fully commit to the idea of this year being about the future. And I know they've always said they want to surprise people. And so if they go down that route, I'll be frustrated. But if they were smart, and I'm not saying they're going to do this, but if they really had that big picture view in mind, and honestly, if they want to set up Heim Bloom well for the future, you capitalize on those assets today rather than letting them walk in the offseason. Maybe Helsley's worth a comp pick, maybe Eric Fetty, but not right now. But for the most part, I just don't see the value in holding on to these guys. And sure, you can masquerade into a playoff run, but like, are you going to be like the Tigers and get stomped in the second round by a clearly superior Dodgers team or Padres team or Phillies team or Mets team or whoever it is? And I mean, I know that any team can make a run, sure, but I don't know. I don't see the point in doing something like that. And I guess you guys can hold it to me now, but I can't see myself clowning them in July if they capitalize on Ryan Helsley or Eric Fetty.
No, I don't think they get that much worse trading these guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you trade Ryan Helsley, you get worse because you're getting rid of one of the best relievers in the league. And I get that. But also, I mean, their success to this point in the season, how big a part of that has Ryan Helsley even been?
Yeah, he's played in like 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like Helsley's not pitching at all because you're either blowing guys out or you're getting blown out. Helsley also has at least 2 major blowups this year that have hurt you, right? And I'm not saying he's not good. Like, it's a small sample size. All I'm saying is the Cardinals can win without relying on Helsley the way they had to last year. Like last year's team, if you had traded Helsley, they were done. Helsley last year was nails, and they really needed him to be. But this year, whether Helsley's been great or bad, it hasn't had a huge impact on the team. Also, it's not like you don't have relievers that can't step up. I think Kyle Leahy is capable of stepping up. He's not Ryan Helsley, but he's capable of stepping up. I think Gordon Graceffo is capable of taking on a bigger role. We saw him look good last night. Kyle Leahy's been nails this year. Like, you have guys that are capable of at least closing by committee. It's not sexy. It's not exciting, but you can do that. You can figure it out. I think Ali is actually good at managing a bullpen for the most part. Like, I don't think you're screwed if you trade Ryan Helsley. And I definitely don't think you're screwed if you trade Eric Fetty or Steven Matz. You can make these moves without being terrible. It's not going to sink the team is all I'm saying.
I think a couple things that though is like, I don't think we should go fully out to like you can win without Ryan Helsley. You could win, but I don't want to say they confidently can be a good bullpen without Ryan Helsley when for the past few weeks we've been talking about how terrible the bullpen is.
No, I know.
I know. Get rid of the best closer in baseball and your bullpen will be fine.
I know.
But
Ryan Helsley's been part of the problem too.
True, but I'm just saying I'm not gonna.
The only games you actually need Helsley to like be good in this year at times.
I mean, he's blown 2 saves though.
Yeah, but how many? I think 3. And how many opportunities has he had? Like 9,
8 or 9. Yeah, so it's not been great.
Bad. That's actually really bad.
Anyways, I'd be interested to compare it to blown saves leaders, but because when you watch the guy every time, you notice how bad things are compared to.
That's true, and he is like I'm not saying Ryan Helsley's not amazing. Like, he's really good, and it's a huge luxury to have him. But it's not like you're trading away the bat you're relying on most of your offense for. It's true. It's a super different thing.
I agree because I agree with you totally on that side of it. I'm just saying, like, let's not feel like it's just like, oh, their bullpen will still be great. No, it's like we don't even know if the bullpen's average right now.
Yeah, so. No, it might get worse. I'm just saying I don't know how much worse it would get.
Yeah,
like, I mean, somewhat worse.
And then I guess I didn't say the name earlier too, but like I would be like if Arenado's playing to the point where someone's going to take on a lot of that contract or give you something in return, you trade that guy at the deadline. You trade him because I'm not holding him to the offseason and going through this whole masquerade again of like, oh well, can we get rid of his money and all that stuff.
When his value is up right now.
Yeah, and if they're going to operate on a smaller payroll going forward, then like getting rid of that money would be important and helpful for Bloom in the future. So, but. Anyways, and also like wasn't it like 2 or 3 deadlines ago where the Diamondbacks traded their closer and then got like a worse reliever, like traded for a different reliever to replace him? I feel like they traded that. And so like you could even do something like that where it's like you capitalize on Ryan Helsley and then you go trade for like the equivalent of Phil Maton to like strengthen the bullpen. And so it's I mean that I wouldn't hate if they really want to try and masquerade it a little bit, but again, Helsley's gone in my opinion. Nolan's gone if you can do it. Fetty's gone. Everyone else indifferent.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks gave up like Sewald, right? No, they got Sewald. Who did they trade?
Then I forget who they traded, but
oh my goodness, why am I blanking right now? Who did they trade? That's going to drive me nuts.
I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
If anyone knows who they traded, the Mariners traded Seawald to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
But if anybody knows who the Diamondbacks traded away, it wasn't Archie Bradley, was it? Who was it?
No. Someone better than that. But
yeah,
anyways,
if you remember, that's going to drive me crazy.
Anyways,
so. I mean, if they're in, I don't want to even say if they're in whatever. That's not. Well, I don't know. The Cubs still look strong, and
the Cubs have serious problems. Like they're a deeply flawed team as well.
Their bullpen is
their offense is super fun, but like how sustainable
is
that level of offense? Because it's been like record setting. It's
not. I hope they sell the farm for Sandy Alcantara and he continues to just be terrible. That would be so funny.
Unfortunately, no one would sell the farm.
It would be so funny, but I don't know. And I hope Imanaga comes back as quickly as possible. But
we'll see. All right. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a ton. We'll be back on Sunday to talk after we've got the national. This is Wednesday. My brain is broken after the national series, and I guess they just play the Nationals this weekend, right? And then they play Phillies next week. So after the national series, again, they have a chance to be above 500 by the next time we record, which could be really interesting. But again, also.
They have a chance to be tied for first place if the Cubs get
they also have a chance to fall back further in the standings. So we will see what happens.
Some of this momentum, just maintain.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think we're gonna get to see Ivan Herrera this weekend, so that'll be really fun to watch. But
can't wait.
Again, like and subscribe. Helps the channel a ton, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Mo.